Rob, you were just turning off your fan, and I thought, you know what I would do? I would go in iPhone mirroring, and I would turn off my air conditioning, which is still set to something that might make it come on while we're recording. And I got my very first warning that it couldn't be done. And that is because I have my iPad connected using Sidecar just below my Mac Studio display. And that is one of the limitations of this new feature, which I hadn't actually tested, and now I have. So now I can say that, yes, that works, or doesn't, as the case may be, because I think the reason is that, there's only so much bandwidth that can be handled for these kind of features like Sidecar and that sort of thing, and iPhone mirroring. And so they only let you connect up to one device at a time, which is similar to the limitation, I assume, that, for instance, you cannot use iPhone mirroring while you're using continuity camera, because it's another one of these continuity types of features that is streaming some sort of part of one device's UI to another device.
Well, there you go. Well, now we know, at least. And just to be clear, me turning off my fan was me physically walking to it and pressing a button like a caveman. I don't physically walk anywhere, Rob. I just sit here and it all happens. My fingers move, but that's about it. No, yeah, this all comes down to my obsession with finishing the macOS review. And what makes me a little bit nervous about this year is that it appears, and I say appears because I don't really know with any certainty, that Mac OS and iOS are going to come out, and iPad OS and Watch OS and maybe even Vision OS will all come out on the same day this year, which is not something that has happened for a very long time. I'm not sure if it's ever happened since I've been writing Mac OS reviews, which I started in like 2017, 2018. So it's been a while, and usually macOS comes out later, but this year, macOS Sequoia is pretty thin gruel, as they say. There's not a whole lot there. And 15.1 has been in developer beta since the end of July, which to me is just kind of like an admission that there's not much to macOS Sequoia. So that'll be hot on the heels, I think, of 15.0. And I don't know. The thumbnail is that it's a pretty good update in a lot of respects. There's some things that don't work very well. Some things I think should not have been done, but are being done. And some good features as well, like this iPhone mirroring, which I actually kind of like. But it's a pretty short list in terms of new and interesting things. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people install Sequoia and don't really even notice any difference, because other than the wallpaper, I suppose, you'll find your new wallpapers in there. But beyond that, the day-to-day experience is pretty much the same as it was under Sonoma, which to me is disappointing. I know a lot of Mac users are okay with that. I mean, I'm endlessly addicted to the new, so I'm not going to change that. But yeah, it's an okay release. It's pretty faint praise, I suppose. It's okay. It's not. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested in the mirroring, but I mean, I'm not sure that's going to be worth me rushing to upgrade and, potentially risking breaking my development setup and that kind of thing. But,
yeah.
I'm sure I'll upgrade to it at some point.
It's a real niche feature in the sense that it is handier than I expected it to be, but it's really only the thing it's useful for are things that you have on your phone, apps on your phone that are not available as a Mac app or available on the web. So even, things like your banking app, you can probably get to that through a website. So it's not really great for that. But I do have other apps and services that control devices that are not available on the web and don't have a Mac component. So it is handy for some things, and I appreciate that.
Definitely. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like there's a lot more to talk about with that, but
No,
sure.
it's just one of those things.
I don't want to spoil your review.
No, I don't want to. It'll be out soon enough. People will be able to read it. It's basically finished. I need to do the screenshots, add some links, do some more proofreading, but it's basically finished, which is good. A good feeling to have. But it's also finished this early because it's also shorter this year because there's less to talk about. So yeah, well, my main thing is getting it out of the way and getting it finished so that I can help out with other things, because we have an Apple event coming up and we also have other people's reviews that have production needs that I help with. So that will be coming out as well. I have a question for you before we get to
go on.
Our first thing in the notes. What do you think of the rumored Mac Mini?
I mean, sure. I mean, it's a better Mac Mini, but like, I don't know.
Are you upset that it might not have USB-A?
No.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
I can't even imagine being upset about that.
People are.
Yeah. I feel like people will be upset about anything.
It's true, because you gotta be able to connect your old keyboard after all. You know what I mean? Your wired keyboard.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody was using those anymore, to be honest.
No, but I don't know. I've got a Mac Mini sat next to me, and I don't really look at it and think, oh, I wish this was really small and compact, and maybe had a power brick that was external, like potentially.
Right.
That's not a thought that's ever crossed my mind. Like they're reasonably small. You can kind of hide them anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I have at times hidden them. I think that they will. I think one of the features of Sequoia that's coming is HDMI pass-through, which essentially means that if you're playing content on a Mac, it will pass the full Dolby like Atmos or whatever other codec directly to things like a soundbar or a receiver or speakers, whatever it happens to be. And that's new to Sequoia. And I think it's getting ready for the people who are going to use this new Mac Mini as a home entertainment receiver, like a kind of like an Apple TV Pro.
Yeah, I can see that people are kind of excited. I mean, it's still going to be a Mac, fine, you can do the pass through, but it's not going to have, what was the thing called that used to have, like Front Row or whatever it was. Yep. They're not going to suddenly bring all that back. Yeah,
you may eat your words in a week,
We'll see. Yeah, because it's this time next week we'll be done, and the event will have happened, and we'll know what's going on.
Yep, we will. All right. Well, I just thought I would ask because I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I've always been a big fan of the Mini, and I think I would probably go for a high-end Mini rather than a Mac Studio next time around. I don't think I'll be purchasing this one myself. I don't need a new desktop. I have a M1 Mac Studio, and it's got plenty of life left in it. But I think maybe an M5 Mini might be in my future. I don't know, M5, M6, something like that.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice indeed.
Yeah, we'll see. Once we get to the point where I'm frustrated with dealing with video, and the worst thing, I kind of have a better understanding for the YouTube people now, because I've been doing some video versions of like the NPC podcast, and the idea that it takes like 20 minutes to export video out of Final Cut is absurd to me. I just want that to be, if that's like more than 30 seconds, it's way too long to me. But 20 minutes, it takes forever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there is a reason why video people, talk about high-end computers and stuff like that, because video just takes so much more processing power compared to like audio or, even photos and stuff like that.
Right.
So I can see why people spend the money that they do.
Yeah. I mean, it's two things. It's one, it's the speed for doing things like encoding, and it's also the storage, because, oh my gosh, if you don't know what you're doing, those Final Cut project files can balloon into tons of gigabytes of data. And so I totally get why people have all kinds of fancy storage setups for this stuff. But if you manage it, it's not too bad. The thing for me is, it's like when I'm doing that, editing that video, it's three people with three people providing the video. So it's like over an hour long show. So they're fairly chunky files even before I do anything with them. The very first time we tested it, we did it with 4K video, and someone told me, I don't do 4K video, do 1080, and then you can up-res it, because the files are just so huge when you do that it makes it very hard to work with. And it's true. Mm-hmm. It definitely is true.
Yeah, I can well imagine.
So, Rob, do you want to tell listeners about the annual St. Jude fundraiser that you're doing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's September. I don't know if you noticed, but it is September somehow.
It is already.
Inexplicably.
Summer went by pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did indeed. Yeah, so this is a thing that I'm sure we spoke about it last year as well when I did it, but Relay run their annual fundraiser, and they have a podcast-a-thon, which is 12 hours of fundraising, which is just incredible that they can even do that towards the end of the month. And then you can do sub campaigns underneath, so that all that money flows up to, Relay's grand total. So me and Adam at omg.lol, we are doing a campaign again. We've got stickers. We've got Ruminate stickers. This is the only place you can get Ruminate stickers.
It's true.
There's nowhere else. We're not selling stickers elsewhere. This is it. And I must have been sending you, designs of this for a few months now, but I spent a long time making this Doritos logo with Ruminate.
It's really good. I love the Doritos logo. It's done so well.
Yeah. So that's one of the stickers. And then you get, Prami. I don't know how you say it, but this is OMG.LOL's mascot.
Yep.
That is also an exclusive sticker only for the fundraiser.
Oh, nice.
So if you donate $15 or more, you can get those. There's also some Relay stuff. So you can get Relay wallpapers and a screensaver, and a sticker pack as well, $100. Yeah. And it's going really well this year. I mean, it's the 3rd of September and we're already at $8,500 as of recording.
Wow.
And last year we did 12,500 for the entire month. So we're well on our way to blasting through last year's total.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And I was just looking at the Relay site there as we record, they're approaching $70,000. So they're doing really well too. I know that they've got their goal at like $500,000, which would be an amazing feat. And their podcast-a-thon is on the 20th of September, I want to say, it will be streamed on YouTube, which is fantastic. I think they've done Twitch in the past, but I think they're doing it on YouTube this year. And so that'll be fun to tune in on a Friday afternoon. Good way to kill a Friday afternoon. If you don't want to work, you can just watch people do silly things for money, for a good cause, in fact.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it was the first day they surpassed $3 million total.
Yeah, since in
the last 5 years.
Yeah, so they started in 2019, I think it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's right.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's such a good cause as well. There are a lot of good charities. I don't get me wrong, but this is a pretty good one as charities go.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, it is based in Memphis, I know, where Stephen Hackett is from, and his son benefited from the programs there. But it is a worldwide program too, because they help with research and other aspects of what they do for kids all around the world. So it's not like necessarily just a US based thing too.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but they, in the last year or so, have started this program where they're setting up proper outreach centers to be able to train doctors and stuff like that to do procedures and the therapies and stuff in other countries where they maybe don't have access to, a full suite of equipment and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, and I know that that's been expanding as well. So they're using the money for some really amazing things.
Yeah, it is really amazing. Well, we will put a link in the show notes, of course. So go on over there and check out check out the campaign that Robb and OMG.lol are doing. As Robb said, $15 and you get some amazing stickers. And if you go even higher than that, you'll get some of the neat perks that Relay is offering as well. So be part of Robb's campaign, because Robb is he's too modest to mention this, but he's at the top of the leaderboards. So we should keep him there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's isn't that the most important thing?
It is. But see, the good thing is that it may stroke your ego, but it will also do good for all these kids. So I think that people, if they, whatever their motivation, whatever it is, whatever makes you want to donate, check out Robb's and use his, because it benefits not only, I suppose, him, but it benefits Relay as well, and all the kids that they're trying to help.
Absolutely. And doesn't matter where you are in the world, we'll ship the stickers to you. We'll make it happen.
Very nice. Yeah, you shipped a lot of stickers last year, I remember.
Yeah, I think it was just over 100 packs we shipped last year.
Oh, wow.
To, I would say 15, 20 countries or something like that.
Having done international shipping myself, I know what a process that can be.
I mean, I'm taking a lot of credit. Adam dealt with most of them. I did just some of the UK and EU ones, but it was definitely a process.
All right. Cool. All right, Robb. Well, I thought one of the things we could talk about today is what video games we're playing. Are you playing anything right now?
Oh, no, I'm not. I mean, as we were talking about before the show, I've had to go and buy a new car. With what we weren't speaking about is we've been moving my office in the house and moving the nursery around.
Oh boy.
In preparation for Baby Night 2 in January time. So, definitely not a lot of time to play video games as much as I want to. Although having said that, I did pre-order Astrobot, and does that come out next week?
Very soon. I think it might. It's very soon. I forget exactly when, but it's within the next week or two.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to carve out some time for that. I mean, otherwise, why would I have pre-ordered it?
Right. That, and I'll tell you, that's probably the only PS5 game coming out that I would think that at least I'm excited about. I have not pre-ordered it, but I got to tell you, I think this console generation has been a bit of a disappointment in the end, because, I mean, it's not coming to an end yet, but I think the days of exclusives are coming to an end, and that, it's people are going to, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if the Xbox goes away and Xbox ends up becoming more of a service, and maybe we'll see more PC gaming. I really feel these days like I'm making a better investment when I buy a game on Steam than when I buy it for a console at this point.
Yeah, no, I think if I played more games, because even when I did have more time to play, I was only maybe playing 10 or 12 games a year, maybe at most.
Right.
But I know there's people that play 10 times that in a year, even if it's only for a few hours here or there or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think if I played more, I think probably even the next generation, I'll probably be looking at some kind of PC, whether it's a Steam Deck with a dock, or, one of the other million handheld consoles, or
right.
Whatever's going on. I don't think it's going to make a lot of sense to me. And the chances are that the next generation of consoles are just going to be discless. They're going to be fully digital. There's no way they're going to carry on making discs for another generation. And I mean, unfortunately, because of the way the market is, Steam is way cheaper for cross-platform games.
Yep.
They're usually, even at pre-order, even before they've been sold, before they've come out, the prices on Steam are always cheaper. So even just from a cost perspective, because I don't think I'm going to lose anything by playing on PC versus PS5.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing, I guess the other factor for me is that I've dabbled in the cloud gaming scene with Xbox and with GeForce Now, and they're good, especially GeForce Now. It's a lot better than Xbox cloud gaming. But the problem is that my playing is kind of sporadic. So having a monthly bill for that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Instead, I'm better off because it takes me a while to get to games a lot of times. Just waiting for the Steam sale and picking up a thing here or there and getting something on sale on Steam, and then with the occasional one that I get like day and date release. So right now I'd say that I'm better at buying games than I am at playing them, which I think is probably a problem people have had for a long time. But I'm still exploring a lot of different things and trying to catch up on some of what has come out this year, as well as dig in more to older games. And along those lines, I did recently download a demo on the Switch, which is the Ace Attorney Investigations collection, which I believe is a collection that was Japanese only and has been brought to worldwide. And the demo is quite fun, so I may end up buying this. It's I'm gonna look. I think it was like $40, and it's maybe 3 games. And you have the ability to do this kind of more realistic art, cell shaded art style, or a pixelated version. So you have some interesting options in the way you play the game. And yeah, it's $40 as a digital download. And I don't know. I think the Ace Attorney series is kind of fun. One thing that I appreciate about this particular one is that they have a button where you can kind of autoplay the dialogue, so you're not mashing the button to advance the characters talking the entire time, which in the evening when I'm just lying in bed, I kind of like that. It's like watching TV, and with subtitles, I just hit that button and watch the story play out, and then do the investigation parts in between, as I go. So it's kind of a neat game.
Yeah, I mean, this is out on Friday as well.
Yeah, it is, and it's been on as a downloadable demo for at least a couple of weeks. But yeah, I thought I would start with the demo and just see if I like it before I actually commit to buying it. That's another nice thing about Steam. An awful lot of games there will have demos as well, which I always appreciate because it gives you a good flavor for what the game is like.
Yeah, I think demos, especially on consoles, seems to be like a lost art form. Like, are they?
Yeah, not very many anymore.
No, I think the last one I remember having a demo of I think it was one of the Far Cry games. Maybe had a demo.
Maybe.
But you don't see many demos of any games really on consoles now. They're just like, no, you just buy it and you just deal with it, which is not ideal. If there's a couple of games I've got that, yeah, definitely if I'd played the demo, I'd have been like, oh, this isn't a game for me.
Right.
But I'm stuck with the games. But it's fine. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely a lost art form.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's kind of interesting. The one thing I do have coming, this is a surprise for NPC, so nobody tell Federico or Brendan. But I did order the Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition. And
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, it's gold, and it has some nice artwork on the back. And I did it because we're coming to the end of the Switch's life. And one of the things that I've always regretted is when the 3DS was coming to the end of its life, I didn't buy a 3DS XL in one of those fancy, like custom versions that came out. They had all kinds of interesting ones like Pikachu, and I think they had a Mario Brothers one, and they had some that were just in interesting colors, which I liked. And those are all like $250 and more now. And so there's that. I just like the special editions. But on top of that, because the console is coming to an end, despite the fact that I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, I still feel like I ought to have new hardware going into the transition, so I'd have a convenient way to play my old games going forward. And I hope that everything is backwards compatible, and I can say to myself a year from now, oh, I wasted my money on that Switch Lite. But I don't think I will, because I think I like the style of this one. I just like the having the special edition, and I don't have a Lite, and I think it'll be a nice way to play those games portable going forward. But I'll also have fresh hardware with a fresh battery and fresh sticks and everything, and hopefully they'll last and not get drift, and I'll be able to play my games for quite a while on it without worrying about the hardware just kind of going downhill.
Yeah, I mean, I was just having a look at this. I hadn't actually seen this. This is really nice.
Yeah.
This is a really nice console.
Yeah, it comes out in about 3 weeks, right at the end of the month, 3 weeks. It's kind of being done in connection with the Zelda game that's coming out.
Yes. Oh, yeah, of course. The one where you play as Zelda.
Yep. The Zelda game is coming out soon. So is the Plucky Squire, which is another one I am on the lookout for. That, I think, comes out maybe a little bit earlier, although don't quote me on that. But I think those two games are going to be my reward after getting through the crush of an Apple event and getting our reviews published.
Yeah, no, I don't. But you deserve it. You deserve a treat.
I do. And so those games are going to be fun. And I'll play Zelda on the new Lite, I think.
No, I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
So we both bought a snack today.
Oh, we did. I almost forgot about our snacks.
And we both more or less have kind of the same flavor.
We do.
Chili. You've got some. Well, I'd start with mine. I've got we spoke about Takis a while ago. Takis.
Yeah.
And I spotted some sweet chili ones in the shop the other day, so I bought those. And I was kind of expecting, you kind of hear sweet chili, you don't necessarily expect it to be spicy per se.
Yeah.
At least not sweet chili. These are really spicy. So I've only eaten about a quarter of the bag so far because they're really nice, but they were burning my mouth. But they're kind of nice.
Well, I extended my foray into the Carolina Chip brand, which is, you can find it in a lot of places around where I live. And I bought some Thai chili Carolina potato chips. And it's the same sort of thing. I mean, Thai chili is usually a sweet and spicy type of spice on the chips. And it's really good. They are very hot. I think the jalapeno queso ones that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, that those are a little bit better. But these are good too. So I've got my youngest son home from college, so he's a good consultant for Ruminate. He's good at finding weird and offbeat snacks to buy. So I'll probably be sending him out over the next couple of weeks before we record again to find us some good snacks to bring to the show.
Oh, well, actually, it's funny you say that. Friend of the show, Ben, has sent me a picture that I need to get down to Sainsbury's, which is one of our local supermarkets, because they have some chocolate gingerbread digestives because they've started selling their Christmas stuff.
Oh my gosh. It's September.
Yeah, I know.
It's September 3rd.
I know. But that does mean new snacks. So I'm going to try. I will attempt to find these digestives before the next episode.
All right. Well, I think that I'm going to poll our audience a little bit and ask if people want to hear about pumpkin spice things, because I did notice on my last trip to the grocery store that pumpkin spice is out in full force right now. You can get pumpkin spice flavored everything. And so if people want me to find weird pumpkin spice stuff, I'll do my best. So just let me know on Mastodon or something.
There we go. We're teasing the next episode. We're asking for feedback. We're all over it.
We are. And hey, you know what? People should check us out on YouTube. You know what's very funny about you know what's weird about our YouTube channel, Rob, on Mac Stories? We imported all of the shows, including the audio only ones, which are basically the video is just the show art, and you can listen while, through the YouTube app or the YouTube Music app if you want, which I know a lot of people do. And one of the shows that took off immediately and was picked up by the algorithm was Ruminate. And I don't know if it's the show titles. I suspect it probably is, because I recently experimented with kind of an offbeat show title for Mac Stories Unwind, and it took off too. So I think there's something about your titling of the show, Rob, that the YouTube algorithm really likes, because there were some very random, very old episodes of this show that just were getting recommended all over the place. And I will admit, a lot of people dropped off pretty quickly in listening to those, but it did get in front of a lot of people on YouTube. So that was kind of interesting and also a little bit nice, I suppose.
Yeah, it was really, I think it was episode 44. I'm just looking at the show notes now. And this was around the time that people were calling shops in the UK, pretending they worked for head office, and were having staff do things like pretend to be a vacuum cleaner and licking the staff's feet.
Oh, no.
That was. I will put those links in this week's show notes as well.
All right.
Wow. So that was quite the time.
Wild times. The Unwind episode was one called "Too Divey Even for Me,"
Excellent.
about my research into a local dive bar.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Cool. All right. Well, I'll put those in the show notes. Please go check out the campaign and donate. Get yourself a fancy Ruminate sticker because you can't get them anywhere else.
Sounds good.